You may have seen them around campus, the dozen new, larger-than-life art installations appearing across lawns and communal spaces. The pieces are part of a project called Mad Campus, but these beautiful works of art are ones we can't stay mad about. Mad Art is a collaboration between Arts UW and a local organization, Mad Art. Mad Art whittled down hundreds of potential artists' proposals to a list of 40, who were then invited to see the potential sites and submit 3 more proposals. From there, the 13 finalists were chosen, 8 of which are UW-trained artists. We met up with Julia Chamberlain, who's currently pursuing her 2nd undergraduate degree here at UW. Her piece, Luxe, consists of neon tubes attached to clustered trees in a grove on Parrington Lawn.
The creative process for Mad Campus started when I talked initially to the 2 people who are in charge of Mad Campus, and they floated the project by me and they gave me a list of possible sites. This was the one that I kind of had my eye on, just because it would be a wonderful place to do a piece with light because of this wonderful natural setting that already exists. So I wouldn't have to be doing very much sculpture to highlight the space that was already there. So I really like how my piece is designed for university students to just stumble upon it, because most of all, you can pretty much only see the work at night, which is not when, let's say, the gallery tours are looking at it. It's mostly when students are getting done with classes or coming home after a long day of studying, that as they're walking off campus, they'll notice it. And the grouping for the trees was based on what the light would look like as a person would be walking through it. So I was constantly thinking, when I was picking trees and picking angles that the neon actually goes at, I was thinking about how will it look like if a person is walking right next to this or in between 2 of them.
Next, we headed to Hortis Curiosa, nestled in the heart of the medicinal herb garden. 2 UW Fine Arts grads, Saya Moriyasu and Maki Tamura, collaborated to present functional tables and benches out of concrete tree stumps, reminiscent of old-growth forests that once covered UW grounds.
So we did our brainstorming and initial concepts in February, and then April we started getting going, and I'd say July and August was, really, we're spending a lot of time on it. Well, the whole process was very collaborative from first brainstorming different ideas, and then I'd worked in cement some, so I thought I knew what we were doing, but I didn't really know what we were doing. And for the banners, I did some of the research and some of the lettering, but it's really like Maki's hand in creating custom textile, like 6 yards of custom textile. Yeah, the monkeys are part of the original design. Our medicinal herb garden was one of the early features of the campus when they moved from downtown to here, and it was modeled after one in Padua, Italy. And Hanuman is the god that has an herbal connection. So it makes sense that they had, even though it was Italy, they had monkeys, and here they had monkeys because of that connection to herbalism.
Medicinal herb garden is a very healing space, and we're both attracted to that concept.
It's been overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
It seems like people are hoping that it would stay at the campus. They're like, this is staying, right? And it's like, well, maybe.
Yeah, and this garden attracts people who love plants, and we appreciate hearing from people who actually say that they felt like this piece had always been here, and that it belongs in this space. So yeah, it doesn't detract from the nature of the space. So, yeah.
Just steps away from the herb garden is W. Scott Trimble's wooden masterpiece, Wave Sign. Meant to illustrate concepts of travel over vast distances by way of folding space, the structure sits appropriately between the physics and astronomy buildings.
People's reactions has been it's been great. It's sort of a piece that borders so many different other things. I mean, it's sort of architecture. It's an installation. It's art. It alludes to some sort of functionality. The undulating pathway is sort of a metaphor that we all, we all travel this metaphorical pathway through life, and I like for people to kind of bring their own narrative to it. And with that in mind, I think I think it brings a lot of people in from a lot of different walks of life to kind of experience it, and that's the most important thing to me as an artist. I constructed this to be physically interacted with, and that's all I'm going to say about that. You just heard it from me, the artist. I am welcoming people to play on it. Just be conscious is all I ask. This is just sort of a, on a graph it's just a sine wave. But I just want to sort of allude to, like, that sine wave represents a frequency. Everything in the universe on an Earth has a frequency, and so this is my little frequency. And a composer friend of mine actually told me what it sounds like. And he said it sounds like this. That's what he says it sounds like. And it's like, I think that's kind of funny, actually, because I mean, I'm not really going for anything specific. I'm just sort of alluding to these things, right? But the whole thing tapers down, and so that was just sort of to magnify its perspective against, like, this backdrop too. So
these unique interactive art installations won't be here for long. Mad Campus wraps up its exhibition on October 25th. Be sure to make your way through campus before they're gone for good.